Hello and welcome to Across the Park with me, Andrew Pricey, and we're joined by Cherries Red Army Bournemouth fan Kirk Tovey. How you doing, Kirk?
Very, very well. Looking forward to this. Another game against Everton, big one in the league before the World Cup. Yeah, looking forward to it.
Yeah, brilliant. So yeah, we're just gonna preview Saturday's game, and we are recording this after the Everton Bournemouth game last night. So we are recording on Wednesday. 4-1 last night, Kirk. I mean, I thought we were terrible. We had completely changed first 11. And the players who played, from our point of view, are players we know are not good enough anyway, to be fair. I mean, I'm not making excuses and saying that's the reason we lost, but those players, as Evertonians, we think they're not good enough anyway. So it was disappointing to see, especially the couple of the players at the back playing, who had a bit of a nightmare game anyway. But how did you see it? You must be beaming today.
1-0 in the series, isn't it? Look, it was a good result. I'm not sure either team really wanted the Carabao Cup, but you've got to take every game as it is. You want to win a football match, no matter the competition. I was surprised how bad Everton were. Actually, there was a chance for Everton to get back in the game at 1-0, didn't take it. But yeah, I'm sure the story will be different on Saturday. I'm not taking much from that cup game. As I said, priority is normally the Premier League, so it's hard to gauge. I expect you to be a lot better on Saturday, but looking at the stats before that cup game, you look very inconsistent. You look like you don't score goals. And I very much saw that last night. So we can take something from it. It wasn't our complete first team either. So there's a little bit of similarities there. But a good game in the end for the Cherries. I don't feel sorry for the Everton fans, but it's a long way to come. And it must have been a disappointing result for the team in blue.
Yeah, it is. It's a long way to go, especially twice in a week. But yeah, we'll draw the line. I think you're right. I think usually we are, or this season we have been struggling to score goals, and that proved. I think what we didn't do last night was defend as well as we have this season. But let's see how the weekend goes, and let's see where we go from there. But yeah, let's just touch on Bournemouth as a whole. How are we getting on at Bournemouth? I mean, what is it? A caretaker manager, an interim manager? How do you describe Gary O'Neill?
Interim. That's what he's been tasked with since Scott Parker left the club. He done well at the start, got points on the board, helped us compete in football matches because we weren't competing since that opening day. It's been a little bit up and down since then. Gary O'Neill's made some weird tactical decisions during matches. He's cost us some few points recently. I don't think I ever backed him. I never did actually back him to become the permanent manager. There were fans out there at the start when he was given the job and picking up points that they were saying, look, give him the job. He's done well. But as you go on and the bounce disappears, because every club has a bounce when a new manager comes in or a manager leaves. And yeah, once that bounce left us, once the lady luck also disappeared, we've struggled at times. I mean, we're 4 losses in a row going into that game last night against yourselves. So it's nice to get a win, although it's not in the league. We do need to pick up points. That's our bread and butter. But Gary O'Neill's got one more game in charge. He's not going to get this job. I don't think he was ever going to get this job. He's done a great job. He's a great coach, not a manager yet, definitely not for the Premier League. But he's definitely learned some things about himself, and I'm sure he's definitely done him some good on his future path, wherever that leads to.
So what was the deal with Scott Parker? It was, as an outsider, it was a bit of a weird one. I know he hadn't had a go at the chairman or the owners, I don't suppose, but he's made it clear that he weren't happy with the summer business, I think, on a couple of occasions. And I'd say from an outsider looking in, it looked like he was a decent young manager. He's brought you up, and maybe you can push on. And then those comments came, and obviously the 9-0 defeat by Liverpool, and he went after that. Was it a weird one for you, or was it all sort of bubbling up, or what was the situation there?
Not really. It wasn't that strange, actually. I said very much at the start when we gave him the job in the Championship that you probably want to give Scott Parker a unique contract, give him 1 year, get us out of the Championship, get us in the Premier League. He did that for Fulham, but I didn't really want us going into the Premier League with Scott Parker. I did panic a lot. Look, we got promoted automatically out the Championship, and from an outside you think he's done a great job. There were some tough moments in that Championship. There were some tough games. We were boring to watch a lot. We dropped points against teams that we shouldn't have dropped points against. We couldn't even score against the likes of Peterborough and Hull. He got the job done in the end. We got that result against Nottingham Forest. We beat Millwall on the last day of the season. There were some good days in there. The unbeaten 15 at the start of that Championship season, that was the reason we got promoted in the end. If we hadn't got that unbeaten 15, we would have definitely ended up in the playoffs. But going into the Premier League, in the pre-season, he was talking about the squad being under-equipped. The board weren't quite backing him. You've got to remember that our current board, our current owner, was trying to sell the club. He's made no secret of that for 2 years. And if you're trying to sell your club or something you own, you're not going to pump 50 million, 100 million into it. So, some realism had to come into it. Scott Parker was just making comments that were clear that he wasn't aligned with the board. And if you're not aligned with your owners, then you're going to struggle. And although we got that opening day win against Aston Villa, that was good. Yeah, his comments leading up to Liverpool and that Liverpool result, it's not good. No one likes to lose 9-0. No one should be proud of losing 9-0, but he pretty much threw the players under the bus. He took no ownership or responsibility for that loss when actually he was to blame. And then pretty much said that we've got no chance unless the board spend money. So, yeah, it wasn't going to end well. It lasted about 48 hours after that Liverpool result, and it was the right decision. It wasn't that Liverpool result. This was coming for quite a while. There were some, fractures between the fans and Scott Parker at times in the Championship. So it looks weird from an outsider. Inside, we're not shocked.
Okay, so what Gary, you're not shocked with Scott Parker. You would have given maybe a 1-year contract. Maybe he's a Championship manager is what I'm getting from you there. You bring him up and he's maybe not cut out for the Premier League. Gary O'Neill clearly hasn't got it, is what you're saying to me, especially tactically. So the next question I'm going to ask is, who's top of your list? I've seen Sean Dyche, but I think he's distanced himself from it. Is that the type of manager you need? Just someone to keep you up this season and back to the walls type of thing, or are you looking into the future for the next 3-5 years and bringing someone in?
So 2 points here. We've got this new board takeover, which is being ratified by the Premier League. So we're waiting for that to go through. So it's unlikely you're going to bring in a new manager until that's done. I'm sure the new board, the new owner, Bill Foley, coming from America, has got something in mind. He probably knows a couple of names on the sheet from the current board that have put something in place. So let's be honest, no manager's going to come in. I think the other question mark was, the reason Gary O'Neill's probably had this job for so long as interim is that there's no one that really stands out. You probably, as a fan of Everton, got your sort of view on how you want a manager to coach your team and the sort of football you want to see. And we, as Bournemouth fans, like to have bums off seats. We like entertaining football. We like front foot football. And that's probably why it didn't work at times with Scott Parker. So there's no one that stands out. We like a bit of charisma. We like someone that interacts with the fans. You could look at Sean Dyche. I don't think that's a good connection, really. I don't see the link there. I think his football would very much frustrate Cherries fans, so I can see why we've not gone down that road. And I'm hearing we've never really been in for Sean Dyche. I think there's a couple of names potentially. I don't really want to say. I haven't said yet. We are waiting to do a video for when it's announced. I think there's a couple of names. There's someone who's managed in the Premier League before, a Portuguese manager who potentially could, as an outsider, be linked. He's got a style that might fit quite well for Bournemouth fans and a good record when he managed Wolves. And the other name is someone that's from Norway who's done well, growing through the leagues, taking a Norwegian side to their local national league win and now got them in the Champions League. And he's very much got a style of football that's very similar to what we had in our first Premier League season, first 5 years under Eddie Howe. And that very much is a risk, but definitely meets the style of what Bournemouth fans want to see. And going into a new ownership, look, new times. I don't think we've ever had a manager outside the United Kingdom. So maybe it's time to mix it up a little bit and see where we're going to go from here, because the new board have got plans for a new stadium, complete the new training ground. So maybe it's time to switch it up and try something different. And you never know. Anything's a risk, as you know. You've seen enough managers go through the game. So, yeah, we'll see. I think it's going to be one of them two, personally.
We had a similar thing, to be honest, before we announced Lampard. There was no candidates out there for us. We didn't know who we wanted, and there was nobody stood out. And you sort of, well, me personally, and a lot of fans didn't want to go on that merry-go-round of the managers. You just go around all the clubs. You want someone who you think might try and help you. And that's why I think we were happy with Lampard, even though he was quite unproven to a certain extent. Obviously that the Derby and the Chelsea first season, the Chelsea particularly, he was done well.
Yeah,
coming to Everton was a bit of a gamble, but yeah, we just wanted somebody who, same as you, got the fans, understood it, coming out of Benitez especially, and I think he's done that. But you mentioned there obviously the takeover, and it's not going to happen anytime soon in terms of bringing a manager in, or are you hoping to take over? reports obviously it's a done deal, as you say. You're just waiting for the stamp of approval. When are you expecting that to go through so that you can look at, or you can start appointing someone and be set up for the new after the World Cup?
Obviously, I'm not enlightened to the finer details, but Bill Foley, the potential new owner, was down for a few weeks or a week when we played Leicester, which was at the start of October. I think they got the signatures from a club to a new owner point of view. Then it's gone to the Premier League and it's over to them. It's been with them for probably 3 or 4 weeks. I don't know how long this process takes. I wouldn't be surprised if something is confirmed in the next week or two, in which it'll be perfect timing for them to get a new manager in during the World Cup, get that manager bedded in with the squad. We won't have many players going off to the World Cup. I'm just thinking if we'll have any, we might have 1 or 2. But, give him an opportunity to understand the club, get to know his surroundings, work with the team, get something built in to when we come back for the Premier League late December. So it's a really good time. We just need to pick up something on Saturday because we don't want to go into that break, 4 or 5 losses in the Premier League. Although we won the other night, it's a cup game, so it's a little bit different, or falling into the relegation zone. So it's a key moment on Saturday. If we can get a positive result, we can then go into the break, maybe bring in a new manager, get the team settled and hit the ground running when we return.
I think it's a big game Saturday. I think we're the same as you. We need to get, well, we need to not lose first, but I think we need to win really. And I'm not saying we should win or we're better than you. And last night proved that, even though there were reserve teams out and whatever else. But it's a real big game for us. I think it's a big game for both teams, and it's gonna pan out that way. I think you go above us if you beat us as well. So for us to go into that break in potentially in the bottom 3 as well, I think we could potentially be is obviously not where we want to be. Just from outside looking at Everton, just give us your views on what you see. I know take last night away a little bit because that's not. I mean, whether you've watched Everton, the impression you got at Everton, just be interesting to know what you're seeing from an outsider's point of view, if anything.
Yeah, I think it's a massive game on Saturday for both teams. I think we're just above each other, underneath each other. I think Everton are 16th, we're 17th or something like that. We're very close outside the relegation zone. Yeah, Everton, it's, as I said, looking at the numbers before the cup game leading into the Premier League game, I think you are very inconsistent. I think it's 1 win in 5. I think you beat Crystal Palace comfortably, but then you've had some struggling days. You don't score enough goals. That's for me. I think there are goals in that team. When I say there's goals in that team, it probably is Dominic Calvert-Lewin, but you can't seem to keep him fit. And when he does get fit, he's got to try and find that form that he had before the injuries. Maupay's been a good striker in the Premier League, but I don't know if he's hit the ground running. Anthony Gordon's been linked with big money moves. I'm not sure he's worth 60 million. I'm not going to lie, but definitely a young talent. Iwobi is streets ahead from what I'm seeing in regards to assists. I think beneath Iwobi, your next assist maker is your goalkeeper. Yeah, so those type of stats really, for me, must be quite worrying. I think your top goal scorer's only got 3. I mean, we're not much more than that, but when you look at Everton, a team that previously were touching, big European competitions. Yeah, you shouldn't be there. You shouldn't really be there. We've had a good day at Everton before. We've had some tough days at Everton. Will you be down there? I'm not sure. I mean, I'm speaking to a lot of podcasters, and I have spoken to other Everton podcasts, and they seem to have the faith in Frank Lampard. But when I listen to outsiders in the Premier League, it seems like Frank Lampard's under pressure. It's a really weird mixture. So I watch a lot of podcasters and. Yeah, it's balancing that. But he looks like he's going to get the time at your club. You're building a new stadium as well. And I'm seeing, and that's, I suppose, Andrew, is what matters is what's going on internally. I'm struggling. I struggle to see what he's doing at Everton, but I don't watch Everton every week. But when I speak to Everton fans, they're quite happy.
Yeah, the thing he's got, what's in his favour is he came after Rafa Benitez when it couldn't have been worse in terms of maybe performances, yeah, but atmosphere in the ground and the feeling towards Everton. So he came in, keeping us up last season was like, it's not a big achievement for Everton, but it sort of gave us a bounce, and we're sort of coming down off that bounce, I suppose, last few games, and we're starting to see a bit of a difference in him. So same with you, it's important for us to get to this break, not right down there, a little bit of a bounce, a little bit of a result on Saturday would see us through, and then maybe regroup again. And then I don't think January can come quick enough probably to bring in a forward player, as you say. It's crying out for us to bring in somebody else. Maupay, I haven't been impressed with him at all. I think he's a championship player. I think at Brighton, I used to watch him and I didn't want to sign him when we were in for him. So he's not the answer. So I think we need backup for our wide forwards, or particularly Calvert-Lewin as well in the middle. But see what happens. Is Everton now a team that you're, I appreciate what you've just said. We don't think we should be down there, but is it one of those you look at the fixtures and you go, hang on, that's one we need to win. If we're going to stay up, Everton at home, need to win that one.
Well, that's what's hurting us at the moment. We're losing to teams in and around us. We lost to Scum, the team up the road. We've thrown points away against Leeds. We lost comfortably against West Ham, and some of these teams shouldn't be where they have been. But, as I said, I don't think Everton probably as a club should be where they are, but they are currently there. You're not pulling up trees. So, yeah, we should be going into this game thinking we can get something from it. If we're not, then what's the point? We might as well just condemn ourselves to the Championship football. I think there's going to be a batch of teams that potentially could go down. I think Forest are in trouble. I think Wolves don't look great, even though they might be under new management. Southampton just changed their manager. I'm happy if they want to bring in Nathan Jones, because he doesn't do very well with teams in red and white. So, there's a lot of teams in there. Do I think Everton will be really in it? Probably not. I think you'd have to do a really good January transfer window. Frank Lampard might have enough. I don't know if you'll get into any dizzy heights. I'm not going to lie yet. But you never know. I think there'll be 6 or 7 teams. But we are dropping points at the moment that we really need to pick up, because we could look back at the end of the season and think that let games go in the last 30 minutes against Tottenham, let a game go against Leeds, lost to Southampton when they couldn't buy a win. And that's what's going to hurt us. And I wanted 4 games from the last 2. We got nothing against Leeds, so I want 3 on Saturday, really. I mean, don't lose. That's the most important thing. But we need to get 3 points. We need to get as close to 38 points as possible, as quickly as possible, and then we'll have a chance, because for the moment, 17th has always been the aim.
Yeah, I think there will be. I think you're right. I think there will be 5 or 6 teams who are all battling out, not because they're all winning, but just because they're all losing. It's a race to the bottom sometimes in them things. So, okay, just to wrap it up, thanks for giving us your time, Kick. But give us a prediction then. So 4-1 last night, as we said, it was probably nothing to from both. I don't think you can look at that and personally and say it's going to be anything like that. But go on, give us your prediction.
It's not quite a gauge, is it, the Carabao Cup? But as I said, it wouldn't have been great for the Everton fans travelling down midweek for that. But I'm sure they'll get a better performance from your team on Saturday. We concede goals. We do. We have the odd clean sheet, but I probably put us down to concede a goal in most games. On that basis, I think we need to score at least 2 or 3 to win the fixture. I don't think you have many goals in you. You don't look like you've got many goals. I think you've only got 11 or something this season. However, we've had some crackers at Dean Court. There's been some good draws, a 3-3, a 2-2.
Yeah.
But I've got to be positive. We need the 3 points. We really do off the back of the couple of previous games we've had. Let's have a good game. Let's have a 3-2 to the Cherries. I know that's not what Everton fans want to hear, but a good cracker and maybe a late winner from the Cherries.
Fair enough. I will put a prediction. I think I said I don't think, because we can't score and you can't score. I know that probably sometimes it means that, as you say, it's a 3-2 or high scoring. But I'm going to go 1-1. Probably is my honest answer. I'd like to back us to win, but I think we'd probably be a 1-1 and a tight contest. But let's see what happens. And fair play and good luck to us for the rest of the season, Kirk.
That's more likely going to be the scoreline, but I'm just throwing something out there as a last fixture before the World Cup that might be a bit exciting.
Yeah,
obviously, it won't be exciting for Everton fans if it does happen. But yeah, let a draw. Don't lose. That's the key message. Thanks for having us on. Good luck for Saturday and the rest of the season.
Thanks. And just again, it'll either be Judgy or Millsy who will be joining Kirk on his own Cherries Red Army channel on Thursday at 8 p.m. So please make sure you're over there and having a look at that.
Yeah, cheers, definitely. So we do a live match preview. Come along. We invite both guests. Great to have you on, and we'll give you our perspective on our channel as well.
Cheers. Thanks very much. Cheers, Kirk.
Cheers, guys.